Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with me, Pete, and along with me I have Ben.
Hello.
Eddie.
Hello.
And Kirk.
Hello.
How are we all doing this week, guys? Anyone feeling as fragile as they were last week?
I'm no longer Jeff Bridges, but I am feeling pretty hanging. Me and Ben went out for my birthday last night, so...
Of course you did.
Yeah, I have... It's only really in the last hour that I've come back to life, and we're recording this at 7:30 in the evening, so...
I mean, I got out of bed at 3, so...
I am fine.
It's because you weren't invited.
Yeah, that's hurtful.
This is the bank holiday. This is when you're supposed to be doing nice things with, like, your partner or something. We had all that planned, and... I ruined it by just being totally ruined. And it's Eddie's fault, really.
Yeah, it's
what,
all
for
Eddie's
having a birthday?
Absolutely.
For the record, I didn't even invite you in the morning, and it was even a throwaway invite because I didn't think you'd come. So I was like, by the way, I'm going out for drinks tonight.
Ben is a canceller. Yeah. He won't go.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I didn't invite him, because I knew he would have cancelled. So
No, Eddie, I said I wasn't coming. Coming. I wasn't coming right up until the point, and then Jack just arrived, and I was spot committed then.
And what time did you finish?
At no point did I say that I wanted to go.
No, in fact, I didn't even hear that you were coming. It was through Jack that Ben's coming too. Oh, right.
Yeah, I didn't want to go.
Fine.
So wait, was it your birthday or something, Eddie? Is that right?
It was, Kirk, and I'm glad you said that, and I feel like you said that on purpose, because thank you to everyone on Twitter for the birthday messages. I got more birthday messages through our fans from my own friends and family. So, I mean, that says a lot about my life and our community.
Speaking of which, belatedly happy birthday, Eddie.
I didn't even say happy birthday to Eddie, I don't think.
I don't think you did, actually, not in the chat. But I do have a particular favourite from our community, Eddie, and that was What the Fuck Do You Want? He made an amazing one. I'm just going to read it out because I have to. He said, at least he had no looks to lose. Time can't do any more damage than genetics already has.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I already looked like an old man when I was 22, so who cares?
He's a fair man. He's a fair man.
He's a very
fair man. I'm
A kind man. Some would say.
But
He knows who he's talking to.
Man.
He knows who he's talking to.
All right, let's focus on the news instead of ripping Eddie for the next 2 hours.
Well, we're not quite at the news yet, are we, Kirk?
No, we're not. We've got. I made a fuck up last week. I forgot to mention a couple of questions from our community, so I'm going to have to fulfil that. But I do have to just pass over to Ben, because Ben's going to be doing a live Twitch stream, aren't you, Ben?
Yeah, I think we did do some Twitch streaming, probably. It was months now, isn't it? It's like
It's months.
Probably 3 months.
It was about 4 months ago, and we were doing it quite regularly, like weekly. But we're going to get back into it. So this Thursday, 7 p.m. Like British time, gonna play Sifu because the new update's out this week. So
easy mode.
Easy mode, baby.
Yeah.
So gonna play some Sifu. Let's make no bones about it. That game is too hard for me. So yeah, going in Sifu 7:00 on Twitch, Grumpy Gamers podcast on Thursday. So yeah, join us there.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
We will. Maybe. Right. Well. So I'll jump onto the couple of questions that I've got from our community that I missed off last week. So Matali John, he did ask us what were your favourite arcade games to play. So please, guys, what were your favourites?
Oh, you know what? The only one that comes to mind is I've played it quite a lot, and whenever I saw a machine, I would always run over to it, like on family holidays, and that's Metal Slug. Do you remember that one?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
I think there's like 10
game.
now, but we're going back like it was Metal Slug like 1 or 2, and you're jumping around. And if you can get a second player, if you had a friend, which obviously I didn't, you could get that second player in. That was cool.
Couldn't you play that on the ferry over to France?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
They had one on there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that from memory.
Yeah.
I'd spend hours on that.
go.
Yeah, lovely.
Fucking great.
What
What about you, Pete? What do you do?
Honestly, I have hazy memories of them, obviously, because pretty young at the time. But the ones I do remember, are House of the Living Dead, which we talked about recently,
Yep.
and Tekken and Mortal Kombat. Those are the ones I can remember having fun on.
Lovely beat 'em ups. They were arcade like favourites, weren't they? Really? So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I think House of the Dead was mine, but like that, because when that came out, the remake of that came out the other week. Like I really wanted to kind of see what that was going to be like, because it's just harking back to those memories of arcades. But they're not massive things in the UK. Like pretty much arcades are on ferries or in bowling alleys.
I'm actually going to counter that, and it's a bit embarrassing to say this. I think I've been about 5 arcades in the past 2 months. And that's because I've been on a holiday loads recently, and so I was in Newquay the other day down in Cornwall with the missus, and she was like, "Oh, arcade," and she likes her little coin slots. So there's me on is it House of the Dead? That's the shooty one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's all different variants. So yeah, I just chuck in a quid, and I have a little shooty bang bang.
Lovely.
I've played probably more arcade games in the last 6 months than I have as a child. So that's
fair. All right. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Oh, look, there's a train going by. Lovely. So the other one we had was from Boldman Gamer. So he asked for me personally to ask you guys what your three favourite games of all time are, and then I've got a few quick questions after that. So please take the floor. Ben, you go first.
Okay. Well, just quickly, I'd say Elden Ring, Persona 5, and Last of Us 2 probably up there.
Not Personal 5, as in the dock then, no?
Could be. Sorry?
Not Personal 5 was the question. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Persona 5.
Yeah, I've written personal, haven't I?
Yeah, I suppose
that's also correct, surely.
Yeah, it is. I'm shocked you didn't get Catherine's full body in there.
God.
Yeah, so for the purpose of this, I'll do Morrowind, Stellaris, and Warhammer Total War 2.
That
All
stacks.
right up there.
I definitely could have guessed them. RimWorld, unsurprisingly, Mountain Blade, as in the first one, and Romance of the Three Kingdoms 11.
Definitely couldn't have guessed at least 2 out of those 3 and got the wrong number on Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah, well, I put 7, and then I went, I don't think it is 7. I looked up 7, I've never played that game in my life.
7 is the one I would have said, so I'm glad you did that.
There you go.
Right, I'm gonna give you 3 statements here, okay? And you've got 30 seconds to decide which of these 3 go into which.
Are we going one at a time then? Or all 3 shouting over each other?
No. Oh yeah, you'll go one at.
Okay. Do one at a time and do Ben first. Go on.
All right. Ben. Right, you got one game you get to keep and can play forever. Which one?
Elden Ring.
Okay.
Oh,
Pete?
Nice. Wow. Oh, God. Warhammer Total War.
Okay. Eddie?
stupid question. RimWorld, obviously.
Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough.
Listen to
All right.
the
So you've got one game other people can play, but you can't ever play that again, and that includes sequels. Ben?
Persona 5.
Cold.
Persona 5.
All right. Pete?
Fuck. I've got to put Morrowind for sequels because otherwise no one's playing Elder Scrolls 6.
There. All right. And Eddie?
Yeah. Fuck.
Mountain Blade, only because I love other people experiencing it, and I think I could live with never playing that again.
Okay.
Oh,
So to that end, then you've relegated your third choices to that game being wiped from all of existence, including its sequels.
Oh shit! No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not mad at that at all because Romance of the Three Kingdoms is very, I mean, have any of you played any of them?
No.
I think I've played one in the distant past. But that's it.
Exactly.
You're fine, Eddie. You're absolutely fine.
I'm absolutely fine. I picked well there. Yeah.
I think Ben, on the other hand, has fucked
but
up.
Ben's
Last of Us 2, the game of a
You've
generation.
pissed off a lot of people there, man.
That generation is gone, Ben. They've
Oh,
gone.
no, wait. Pete's got fucking... What?
Stellaris.
Oh, Pete, you're going to be
That said-
devastated.
Well, that said, I have realised that would give everyone who's ever tried Stellaris about 2,000 hours of free time back. So, in one way, it's a good thing. They're
So
not
you've
going
given
down that
time
rabbit
back to
hole.
the
What a
people.
blessing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic blessing.
And I've only pissed off all of Asia, so that's good.
It's not the first time, nor will it be the last.
Anyway, there we go. Lovely. Right, should we move on?
Fantastic. I think it's probably time for the news, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got quick news to kick us off this week. I think, and I haven't looked at the story, I've just looked at the headline, so I assume it's
Nice.
fair. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has been officially announced.
Yeah, heard that.
Anybody got any commentary on that?
Do you know what? I loved the 2019 version. I thought it was fantastic, and then I had to boycott Activision Blizzard. But you know,
and then you started playing their games again.
I mean, I played Pyro and Crash, yeah. But I don't.
How's that boycott going?
Pretty shit. Do you know what? Honestly, the 2019 Modern Warfare was a fucking great return to form for the franchise. Vanguard's been wank from what everybody said. The Black Ops series isn't as good as it used to be, so it kind of lies on Modern Warfare. And you got Captain Price as like the main guy, and people will fucking gravitate to him, you know. So
yeah, and they're not doing yearly releases anymore. No. They're taking a year off, aren't they? So I mean, they're obviously trying to focus on actually delivering something new and fresh. So that is good to go back to the Modern Warfare stuff, because it's the only thing that I'd really be interested in jumping in on.
It's Infinity Ward as well, and they are like the poster child for the franchise, really. So.
Yeah, they're the goodies. Yeah. Absolutely. And the second quick news, it's a bigger one, but it's really, the story's really popped off today, and I haven't really had time to go into it massively. But Square Enix have sold off their Western studios and over 50 intellectual properties to Embracer Group for just $300 million. I had to look at that phrasing there. Just 300 million, but yeah, I think that's just in comparison to all the other deals that are going on. When you see Bungie, you see Bethesda. What was the one that potential Ubisoft or whatever, and then the Activision one, huge billion-dollar deals. But for this, the sale they're saying is set to go through September this year. Embracer are taking on Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal. So that includes Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and the Legacy of Kain IPs. 1,100 employees. So it's a big fucking deal, really. Obviously, Square Enix, the Final Fantasy stuff and all that kind of stuff is staying in the Square Enix kind of domain, but you know, there's some big fucking games there, and it seems like they want to be investing in these series, and especially since the new Tomb Raider has just been announced, which is coming out with Unreal Engine 5 and all that kind of stuff. You know, for 300 million, it does appear from a layman's perspective, not knowing anything really about the numbers, that would appear like a good deal to be getting things like Tomb Raider and these IPs that you could genuinely lean on. Yeah, that would sell good numbers. So. We'll see how that goes, and I'm sure there will be plenty of more deals in the offing soon.
Let's also not forget they've got the Avengers.
I did hear that. That isn't this deal. What is the Avengers staying through Square Enix?
Square Enix, yeah.
This? Yeah. So do we know if this deal includes that? I know it's a little shit, but. Any Marvel stuff?
I mean,
does this?
I don't know. I mean, it's Marvel Entertainment that have they kind of have farmed out that different IPs, haven't they? So Insomniac Games have Spider-Man and Wolverine, which is exclusive to PlayStation. Then you got Square Enix that have got this Avengers franchise. So, I mean, I don't know. It's anyone's fucking guess, really. Yeah.
I mean, it could be that this price could be just the fact that a lot of these IPs that we kind of know and love from our youth just don't sell as much as.
I think that's the case.
And, you know, it's hard to lean into Thief. I mean, Thief, they had a good game and then they remade it and then it wasn't so good. And like, who's buying that? I suppose how many copies that's actually going to sell?
They had 3 good games and then they remade it and it was okay.
Yeah, the remake wasn't so good though, right?
It wasn't so good. Yeah,
but it was known as quite an iconic.
Oh, definitely.
I've never played Thief, but it's supposed to be quite iconic, the older ones, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Deadly Shadows is one of the best games I played as a kid. The third one. And the second one was very good as well. But the third one's the one that sticks with me because it's got one of the creepiest missions you can ever play. It's horrifying. But really good.
I always find with Legacy of Kain, like, so many people talk about... That's Soul Reaver, right?
Yes.
So many people talk about Legacy of Kain as like some, again, really iconic kind of old IP. I remember playing that, and for a man who loves vampire games, not into it. Wasn't into it.
True.
So. Wow. Anyways, that's the quicker news.
Fantastic. Well, I suppose in the first of the big news, we should probably talk about Activision and Blizzard again.
They're in the news again, are they?
They're in the news again, and this time we have a quote from everyone's favourite CEO in here as well. So,
shit!
Yeah, get ready for that. So this is, of course, to do with the fact that shareholders have voted in favour of the Microsoft acquisition, and heavily in favour. It's 98% of shares approved the transaction.
Wow.
Now, obviously, there's still some way to go with this, and it still has to get past the FTC and regulatory review, especially because it could still constitute unfair competition. That's the key thing. But they do have until June 2023 to close. So, yeah, it looks like it's moving forward, I suppose, is the key thing here. And the main uncertainty really is the antitrust situation now. Because obviously at the moment it seems like in the US they're making quite a big push against antitrust and anti-competitive transactions. So that is probably their biggest stumbling block. But yes, we did get words from CEO Bobby Kotick.
Fucking hell, this guy.
Today's overwhelmingly supportive vote by our stockholders confirms our shared belief that, combined with Microsoft, we will be even better positioned to create great value for our players, even greater opportunities for our employees, and to continue to focus on becoming an inspiring example of a welcoming, respectful, and inclusive workplace.
Wow, what a powerful quote.
Sorry, I know you're going to carry on, Pete, but fuck me, that is it's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, well, let's
that
follow up
lacks
with...
like so much self-awareness, doesn't it? It lacks.
I don't know. It sounds to me like he's taking the piss, almost like he's laughing while saying it. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, that may have been the fact that I was trying really hard not to laugh as I repeated it.
Dollar signs in his eyes, you know.
I also feel we should follow up with the quote from the State of California lawsuit filing, which said that Activision Blizzard was a breeding ground for harassment and discrimination against women.
That's what I mean.
Balance.
I bet when he was tweeting this, he was looking at his mate going, "Watch this, they're going to fucking explode. I'm going to get so many hate messages."
Of course he was. He's a fucking asshole, honestly. Just no. Oh, what slime ball.
Yeah.
I was thinking slime ball as well. I was thinking about using that word.
Slime ball is the word, isn't it? That is what he is.
It's what he seems to be, but
but that's the main part of the news there. I suppose the key thing really that I wanted to mention as well is the biggest problem with this deal, as I said, was the antitrust, anti-competitive, and the fact that Microsoft's offer apparently is $95 a share, which is like 25% above their actual share price.
Oh,
yeah. Well, you've got to entice people to sell, haven't you? Because that's how.
But that's a big chunk up, isn't it?
It is a massive percentage rise, isn't it? Because Activision was probably already, from whenever people bought it, it just rises all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So.
And I imagine that's why 98% of them approved of it as well. It's like 25% profit. Yeah, let's do it immediately, at least. Yeah.
It's I'm interested because it's all Call of Duty. That's the big money earner in this deal, and I still don't know how you get to that value. Like that the value you've got there. I just think that seems mental. I know Call of Duty sells a lot of games, but surely not that many.
Well, they've got a fair few things in there, haven't they? But Call of Duty is definitely
stuff
the
like
biggest.
Let's not.
Well, I'm thinking Overwatch and Warcraft as well from the Blizzard side. But you do think it's a bit late to make the biggest profit on those?
It's far. I wonder how Overwatch 2 is going to do when it properly, because I don't know if people are that obviously Overwatch has a huge community, but I don't know what the hype is around Overwatch 2.
No, I don't know if any neutrals are interested as well.
What new players are going to convert to it? Probably
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway. But that's the news.
All right. I think I'm next. Yeah, it says 2 next to it. PlayStation to offer trials through PlayStation Plus. This is quite a nice bit. The latest PlayStation Plus premium leak says that Sony will require free trials with every PlayStation game. This comes from Euro. No, it doesn't. It comes from a website, bgr.com. Never heard of that. But anyway. The reports come via sources who told game developer that developers working on games with a wholesale cost of $34 or higher will now need to offer a free trial version. Sources say the trials will need to be at least 2 hours long. There was no mention of a max amount for the trial, though, so it may vary by game. Sony's being flexible with the policy, though. Sources noted that developers will have up to 3 months after the game's release on the PlayStation Store to release the trial. Trials will also only be required to be available to PlayStation Plus premium users for 12 months. Sony is also reportedly open to custom game demo releases instead. However, sources say that this will be approved on a case-by-case basis. I was overwhelmed with happiness when I saw this, and then obviously when you look at all the small print, it could be really quite worthless, can't it? But hey, any kind of step in a direction of offering free trials. I've noticed since doing these new release sections over the past few months is more and more games on Steam anyway are giving more free trials, and I think that's great because it's stopping people from buying a game that they hate and therefore they feel really guilty about spending money. So any direction in this direction is good for me. But what do you guys think?
Well, I think
it sounds. Yeah, sorry, Pete, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it's tied to the fact that so many developers are aiming for more service-style games where you stay longer. So giving a trial is less significant because, a 2-hour trial in quite a few games is 10% of the game. Yeah. That's why a lot of them don't want to do it. But the more games you got that are bigger than that or that have a longer lasting trajectory than that, the more likely they are to have trials.
Very good point. Yeah.
I think that this sounds very good for a consumer perspective. I don't know how much I'd actually use it because I don't know how much value I'd see in a demo or a trial these days because I've already researched. Yeah, I've already researched what I'm gonna. But I've already researched enough to go. Yes, I'm going to buy it, or I'm going to get it. I'm going to play it. So I don't know how much a 2-hour trial would help. It might do, but I do think that the reality of this is going to be so much different. It's so different to what this leak is actually saying. Can you imagine being a developer and being told you now have to put a demo or trial version into your game?
Yeah.
Fuck off. No, Sony, fuck off. Just not doing it. Like, the time and effort to do that, like, it's not just a simple, all right, we'll just put a 2-hour cut to it. They actually have to do some development to make that happen.
True.
Some people are just up against the wall to meet fucking deadlines, and then Sony come and say this. Nah, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, Sony just, like, they may do it for their own games. I think the reality of this is going to be, it'll be on PlayStation, like, Sony published games.
Studios,
yeah, but wider than that, they can't enforce that because you just go, no, fuck off, and just go, I'll release it on Xbox and PC then.
Yeah.
Like, I'll release it on PlayStation down the line. So actually, this could end up being slightly anti-consumer for PlayStation, especially when you get some like smaller games where their backs up against the wall because they're like, actually, we'll do it on PlayStation when we can do that trial. So we'll do that 6 months later. Sorry, guys, we can't put it on.
It's not just that. It's the fact that a lot of games these days take fucking 2 hours to get past a tutorial section. So,
so what benefit are you getting? Yeah, exactly.
So you'll play like Forbidden West or something. I know that's got quite a lengthy intro, doesn't it? Like to get used to mechanics.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah,
generally how the game works. And so basically what you've done is you just played the intro for 2 hours and you haven't really explored the game really for what it is. And then you go, oh, this is shit. Great, okay, well, I'm not going to play it then.
I just think like it would be... the reality of this may be totally different in terms of Sony are giving some incentive to developers to do this, maybe. But if Sony end up saying to be through this service, to have a game on PlayStation, you have to offer a free trial. I can imagine a lot of developers just going, "Fuck, I can't be dealing with your shit."
Like, Phil, were you over there? Can we come Game Pass?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just not. How about I just don't? I'm just going to go over here instead.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, and I also don't know, as I said, the value of a demo or a trial in this day and age. Like, nobody's running out to play. Like, demos are on Steam all the time. Like, I see, as you said, Eddie, when we're doing the new releases or whatever, there's demos for loads of these games that are coming out, aren't there?
Yeah.
The only thing I would say...
Very few do I actually click on.
The only thing I would say on that, I mean, you're talking from your own personal perspective here. There are a lot of people that... I mean, me personally, I am pretty tight with money when it comes to the things I buy. I do a fair bit of research. I won't just go and buy a £50, £60 game on a whim unless I really know that I want it. So if a new Halo came out, I'm invested in it already. That's fine. But if it was a new franchise, something that is getting all these rave reviews, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend 60 odd quid on this, I would benefit from it. And we used to get demos all of the time as well. You got to remember, back in PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era, we had demo discs all of the time. Metal Gear Solid 1, for example, came with a demo disc of Silent Hill. because it's a new franchise, you know?
It's a really, really fair point.
I used to get magazines, and they always used to have demo CDs in there, didn't they?
Yeah, the official magazines of like Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo. You'd get like free demos and stuff. So I think we've just gotten to a point now where everything is. I don't even know how you would describe it, to be honest with you. But everything has shifted in such a way that it's gone. Well, we don't need to fucking bother. But now we're going back to it with PlayStation offering this and Xbox offering Game Pass. You're essentially demoing something anyway. You've paid.
But why don't you just not do this and just do what Steam does? Like, I don't understand. Like, Steam say you can play the game for up to 2 hours and then you can just get a refund. Like, that's easy. Like, play the actual game.
Refunds,
no, they don't like doing
refunds.
So PlayStation, instead of taking that on themselves, they put the emphasis on the developer and said you have to produce a trial version.
Yeah.
Come on. No, if this is your thing, you want to offer this as a thing, you do it, you handle it. Just offer refunds if you play it for under 2 hours.
They don't like refunds.
That's how they should do it. But that's how they should do it. Like, why are they putting the emphasis on the developers? Is what I'm saying.
Because it's cheaper for them to do that than it is
exactly. And if you're a smaller developer and your back's up against the wall, you just go fuck off.
Yeah, you got to.
Well, they've probably got so much expected income through Sony that they can't. But
who knows?
It is, as always, it's a let's see what actually comes of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shall I move us on?
Go ahead.
Got a pretty big. What the fuck is wrong with me? Jesus,
that's a good start, Kirk.
I know, right? I know. I can't wait for this.
Pretty important news, boys. Come on.
I think you took it. I was going to take this one.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy. I got on the dock first. So, Xbox and Bethesda are having a showcase for on the 12th of June at 6 p.m. That's UK time. And it's going to be streamed on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and weirdly, TikTok. I don't understand that personally. I thought TikTok was like a 6-10 second video thing, but whatever. So we don't know exactly what is going to be shown at this event, but I think that it's pretty safe to assume there are going to be some big hitters like Forza and Starfield. I mean, we haven't heard anything from either of those franchises for quite some time. Have you guys seen the graphic that accompanied this?
No,
I haven't.
So what they're showcasing all over social media and whatnot is it's an Xbox logo, which is seemingly in space, or at least with stars behind it. So I guess that kind of could be hinting quite heavily at the fact that that Starfield could be quite a main event at this. And as we haven't heard anything, it's due to come out on the 11th of November. It would make sense, 5 months before? Literally just under 5 months before it comes out. So there are other things which are kind of quite hotly tipped to come out. To be announced at this. So you got Ninja Theory's Hellblade 2, the new Indiana Jones game, which was announced, would you believe, back in January 2021. And some other potential candidates are Avowed, Everwild, Fable, and Perfect Dark. Although the latter three are still in early development, so that
could say Fable. Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know. Wow,
they announced it
being
a
made
long
by
time ago.
Playground Games are making it. Forza. So people
Yeah.
make Forza or Forza. Sorry,
Forza.
Are making Fable.
Exactly. So I think we would assume at this point that Xbox has found its kind of footing when it comes to showcasing games at these events, rather than saying, "Oh look, we do TV stuff as well, and look at all these movies that we've got." But I would also argue that maybe they will throw something quite left field. Sorry, it's like a curveball. So maybe we'll see some like partnerships with different developers / publishers with various games coming to Game Pass, or potentially Ubisoft Plus coming to Game Pass, which is
could do.
Things are starting to creep that way, aren't they? And this kind of event could really show that is going to be the case. Obviously, rumours, but things are kind of lining up in that kind of way. So until they say, and finally, we also haven't heard anything from certain Affinity's project that they're working on with Halo, which is the potential battle royale mode, and also that rumored TV stick that we've got coming to stream games. So
I thought that battle royale mode for Halo was now known.
It's not officially known.
Is it not? Like, I thought something in my mind was saying that wasn't it like everyone gets 5 lives and it's last Spartan standing? Wasn't that like, did they talk about that last week?
We talked about something. I didn't know about the 5 Live shit, but yeah, we certainly talked about.
I just made that. Did I dream about that?
I don't know. Maybe did.
Halo.
I mean, ultimately, the point I'm making here is that we haven't seen anything, so maybe we will see something. I think that's the main thing.
I thought something had been announced.
The main thing here is probably going to be Starfield and other first party franchises, because they've been fucking throwing money behind places now, haven't they? So what about you guys? I know you're all hyped for Starfield, but what would you like to see?
Well, just before we go into any of that, Starfield's due a CNT or a beta, isn't it, this summer?
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. So, I didn't know that.
That's interesting that this is June 12th even, because you could see that being not long after.
So you think that maybe they're
I reckon there'll be more information on it at the very least.
Okay, fair enough.
And I think that could be a primary focus for it. That could be cool.
Starfield will be it will be the thing.
Yeah, but I think maybe bringing people to the beta test is also going to be a thing they want to do.
Yeah, like a network test or close network test. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like they did with Elden Ring.
Exactly that. Yeah,
it'd be nice to apply for that and actually get that one on like Elden Ring.
It'd be a lovely thing to attempt, wouldn't it? And another great disappointment down the line.
It would be. I do love the Xbox main events that they do for E3 and such. So I'm buzzing for this one because I love a good 2-hour game fucking awesome Xbox presentation. I do love them. Some people get really annoyed by them. I get annoyed by their like indie ones that go on for 2 hours, but their main ones I fucking love.
The whole way that they produce them is so different, isn't it? Like it is a showcase. It's a proper showcase. And like you said, bang. It's game after game. It's brilliant.
I would like to see more on Avowed, because I remember when we saw that 2 years ago or something, and then we haven't heard jack shit since. But it looked very Elder Scrolls, didn't it?
It did. I'm quite keen on this one as well. Very interested to see where it's going.
Keen for that. What about the next Elder Scrolls game? Like
6. It would be lovely to see something.
Yeah. So
didn't they just release a new update for the online?
I think we'll get one for ES6 just after Starfield releases.
So focus on Starfield.
Starfield
focus on Starfield. If it's a bad release, then maybe chuck something in about that.
Yeah.
Even if not 6 months later, just be like, this is next.
Yeah.
They've got to be showing Fable here. Like enough's enough. They've got to be showing it.
We got a CGI trailer last year, didn't we?
Yeah. But enough's enough with that bullshit. Just shows that. In which case, just don't even talk about it. But Xbox have to start delivering, because they haven't put out any games.
They haven't put out any games, no. And $77 billion have been spent on. I mean, I know we don't have Activision just yet, but that's a lot of money. Where are games?
I really hope that Xbox get to the stage into 2023 of they're releasing or publishing a game
every month.
Yeah, just like Bosch.
Can you imagine that? When has that ever happened?
We'll get to it.
When's that ever happened?
Get there. I honestly think that's what they're preparing for. So I don't think we should be like, they haven't had a game since Halo or whatever. Like I think they are going towards this stage of like going, we're gonna release a big game every month or two.
Yeah.
Bosch.
Although spoilers, Ben, is like you said that they haven't had a game since Halo. Well, they haven't had a game this year since Halo. So
yeah.
Spoilers.
Massive spoilers. Yeah, we'll come back to that. For now, I was going to make you go next, Ben, but actually, can I jump in because this is Starfield related?
Yeah, crack on.
Yeah, I just figured I probably should. That there was a story drop last week that a former Starfield developer says there might be too much content currently in the game.
Oh shit!
So this one, who was posting through the username Heavy8, revealed quite a few details, but most of it was about the fact that Bethesda is great. Secure place to work, said Todd Howard was very charismatic, and said the game was looking good thanks to improved lighting and things like this. Mm-hmm. But then did happen to come in saying flying is absolutely terrible and Bethesda's new engine is a piece of crap. So a balanced review from a developer. I mean, the flying is kind of a significant issue on a space-based game, and Bethesda's engine being a piece of crap is absolutely no surprise at all. So that's not really going to be a problem. But the flying,
what's that one called? Is that engine's called Creative Engine 2, isn't it?
Something like that, I think. Yeah,
I think that's a great name.
They're so good at picking names, because it was Creative Engine with Skyrim, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Creative Engine, and then they went, right, how the fuck are we going to rename this?
Out of two. Job done. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go the Xbox route and go 360 and then 1. The classic numbering orders. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, this guy's identity was confirmed later by Jason Schreier from Bloomberg, saying that they were definitely who they said they were, and was hoping that Bethesda's lawyers didn't come down on them too hard for what was essentially breaking a non-disclosure. But the key thing he did mention in here is that there's far too much content in the game at the moment for a November release, and that they're probably going to have to cut quite a lot beforehand.
But he did say, I think he said that he fully believes that they're going to hit this deadline, and they'll cut content to reach that deadline.
Yeah, and as you said there, Eddie, as well, that's a better position to be in than not having enough content.
Yeah.
It will always lead, especially the people who get really into these games, it will lead to the what could have been if they left stuff in. As we've seen with Elden Ring recently, lots of people finding things that were cut content that would have been fun.
But at least it means that they'll have DLCs that are kind of ready to be picked up. But it's like the problem with Cyberpunk. One of the problems with Cyberpunk, I thought, was just that actually I would have liked it to be 2 to 3 times the length. And I know that's a selfish thing for what they've done or whatever. Like they made that game, but I just thought it was really damn short.
Yeah.
So,
or at least the quality content was too short.
Yeah.
Yes. You could blitz that story in 20 hours.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And that was the shortest bit. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. But yeah, so that I just thought I'd add that on as it was Starfield related.
Okay, and I suppose I'll pick up with a follow-on, really, from the Square Enix stuff at the start of the news.
Mm-hmm.
So, Yuji Naka, do you guys remember Balan Wonderworld from last year, which came out and was a fucking travesty, and it was an awful game, very poor mechanics, samey throughout, just your characters had different costumes, it was just a load of crap. I think it was universally viewed as a pile of crap. So Yuji Naka, who was the original creator of Sonic, he has now lifted the lid on kind of what went down prior to the release of the game, and because there were such high hopes for it, remember, because of who he was, or is rather, who he is, and like what he can bring to the table, though massive high hopes. But he's come out and he said that he was removed as the game director 6 months prior to release by Square Enix. And I imagine he was under an NDA until now, so now he's can kind of say his piece. But he basically went into this massive statement where he really tore into Square Enix and the other company, where it said that basically they don't care about making games, which I have heard about their sale of like what they're half their business now. They're largely saying that they want to focus on blockchain technologies. That's why they're moving out of the game stuff. So this does all kind of fit in that Square Enix not really that interested in making games at the moment. But his statement went into massive length about this stuff, and even into how games change right up to release. So he was basically got rid of his director 6 months before, and he said when he made Sonic, I think he said like up to a week before the release, he added in the you don't die as long as you've got one ring.
Yeah.
Like that part of the Sonic thing, that very iconic thing of Sonic, was only added right before the game shipped.
Yeah.
And he said like you're making games better right up until the end of that, and he was taken out of that process. And basically the game was unfinished. It wasn't what he wanted to release, and I think he's probably just sad that his name was attached to it. Now, this probably is not the full story, and there is another side to this, so let's put that out there. And he might be trying to protect his legacy a bit because
it's taken a hit.
It has taken a hit from this. But in the same breath, it has been a fucking hot minute since Square Enix have made awesome games or published awesome games or been involved with awesome games. I mean, Life is Strange 2, we've talked about that, and Life is Strange True Colours, rather. That's obviously...
Did you just call it Life is Strange 2?
I know, and I followed up with you.
You fucking had a go at me last week for that.
You've given him bad habits, Kirk. Damn you.
You're infectious, and not in a good way.
That's hurtful. Very hurtful.
What do you mean not in a good way? How many infectious things are good?
Like laughing's infectious.
Oh,
okay. It is. Yeah. Fuck you, Eddie.
Anyway,
who's on you on here, guy?
I'm very confused. I'm very
Pick a
confused.
side.
He's on the side of Ben, who's ripping him. Yeah.
Square Enix have had some bad games recently. So they've had Babylon's Fall, which... Did anyone else hear that? It was down to like 50 players on Steam.
Yes, yeah.
And that came out a couple of months ago. It's a Square Enix game, one of the biggest publishers in the world. And after a couple of months, it's down to 50 players.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Only worth 300 million, by the way.
Say that again, sorry?
Only worth 300 million.
Well, you can see why.
Stop saying only 300 million, please.
That part of the company, remember. But yeah, Babylon's Fall was crap. Chrono Cross Remake has been panned, really, and they're saying that the original was a better way to play it. You know, the latest Final Fantasy, Stranger of Paradise? Like, who's talking about that? Like, that's just...
Yeah.
Nobody's even bothered. And it does make me worry, because Forspoken is obviously associated with Square Enix, and they're publishing it. So, and that game is... it seems to be on a rocky path as it is, so...
Yes.
Yeah, and not everything attached to Square Enix is turning to gold at the moment, is it?
No. Not much, in fact, no.
It's been a minute.
So.
Well, a nice positive one to finish the news, as usual. Excellent.
Oh, yes.
That's how we do things. Fantastic. Go on, Eddie, bring us up with the new releases.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know if I can bring you up, but there are a couple ones. All right. First one, best month ever, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, Switch as well, May 5th. Take part in a roller coaster of emotions with Louise embarking on a road trip of a lifetime through the late 1960s USA, trying to show her son Mitch how to navigate the often cruel modern world. Your choices matter! This is like a point-and-click game. Really bad animations. Looks quite bad. Even like the artwork looks bad. But there's a free demo on Steam.
On PlayStation.
It doesn't look bad.
It looks bad. Yeah,
it looks really bad.
It looks like the kind of game Ben might like.
It doesn't. I think this looks good. Come on.
This does look like a Ben game.
And it's on Switch.
Of course, that's why you love it.
There it is.
Why you love it.
Yeah.
The concept is good. Like, she's got 1 month left to live or something, and trying to teach her son at that time. And I actually thought I thought it looked quite good. I thought the animations, the graphics looked all right. You know, it's going for a particular style, but
yeah, it's got a style.
Yeah, there's the sales pitch. All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Next one, Trek to Yomi, coming out on PC.
Nobody's ever said Yomi.
No, I'm using it.
Nobody's ever called it that.
No.
Nobody's ever said that.
PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, May 5th. As a vow to his dying master, the young swordsman Hiroki is sworn to protect his town and the people he loves against all threats. Facing his tragedy and bound to duty, the lone samurai must voyage beyond life and death to confront himself and decide his path forward.
What have
Why'd
you
you sound
just
like
done?
that guy? Why'd you sound like that guy at the start of Phantom Menace?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. The alien guy, right? I know what you're talking about.
Why'd you sound like him?
Commander, we do not have enough ships. I know who you're talking about. How bad's that?
All I'm going to say is please stick to pirate.
Really? Because my pirate is better, was it? I thought that wasn't bad. Come on. That's better than my pirate Cornish, Scottish, Irish person.
I don't know. I think I preferred that one. This one just it got sadder the longer it went on for me.
Yeah, I've noticed that with my accent. It's like I get tired.
Love that we all were quiet for it as well, just to allow it just to go.
I'm shocked. Did you notice the lull after the few first words? I was waiting for one of you to go, please stop, or something.
I didn't know whether we should say anything, but it's done now.
The thing is, we can soundbite it now. We can soundbite it. So
please let's not. Then it's evidence.
And his pronunciation of samurai in the accent was special.
Yeah, I needed to twist a word or two, and I thought that's the perfect one. Because we all knew what it was, so I thought I might chew that up, spit it out.
Right, Eddie, can you tell us a bit more about Trek to Yomi, please?
Trek to Yomi is
Who calls it that?
It's an action adventure, black and white, sideways scroller. Side scroller? I'm going to put sideways scroller. Personally, it looks really, really good to me. It looks atmospheric. The visuals look great. The combat looks fun. I'm very excited. Did I hear that it was coming to Game Pass as well?
Day one.
You bloody did.
May 5th.
Already pre-installed, mate.
Day one. Are we all going to play? This is the first game we're all going to play.
I think so. I think we're actually going to have a chat about this next week.
Yeah,
I think we might.
Well, I assume it'll be on what we've been playing, at least with one of us. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would think actually it might be a shared what we've been playing for that one, because I suspect otherwise we're all just going to turn up with we've all played Trek to Yomi. Did you say?
Yes, that's
what how we're saying that now.
Because I was going down a Japanese accent, so I was like, right, I need to make a twist on the name as well. Yeah,
okay.
You didn't need to. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to.
Do we know that it's Trek to Yomi? I know you guys are going. I know I've heard it called Trek to Yomi, but are we sure?
Yes,
I mean everyone else is doing it, so we're in it together if we call it Yomi.
All right, Kirk. How do you know?
Because I've heard. Because you've heard other people say it. Yeah,
brilliant.
At least we're in it together with
better publications than us have said it.
Kirk, if you saw Yomi completely separate, how would you pronounce that word in English?
Yomi.
No, you wouldn't.
There is absolutely no way I would say Yomi.
Why would it be O? Because there's no E after to emphasise the letter of the O. It would be Yomi. Every day of the week it would be Yomi.
Nah, I'm against you on this one.
Right. Fuck you guys. Next one, Warhammer 40k. Well, actually, it's spelled 40,000, so I'm going to call it that. Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate. Demon Hunters. Coming out on PC May 5th. Lead humanity's greatest weapon, the Great Knights. I should have done an accent there. I don't know, like a goblin or something.
You are a goblin.
No, do like a full booming voice.
I don't have that.
Brian Blessed style.
Oh, maybe a Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges.
Go on then. Go full Jeff Bridges. Big booming voice. Lead humanities. Go on.
I will not. In this fast-paced, turn-based tactical RPG, root out and purge a galaxy-spanning plague in a cinematic, story-driven campaign using the tactics and talents of your own personalised squad of demon hunters.
Sorry, just to stop you, Eddie.
Yeah.
What I loved most there is, as you said the word plague, you sounded phlegmy. It's perfectly timed.
I've told you that. For some reason, where I can read all day, but when I read these new releases, I just get phlegm build up. It's like it's trying to put me off. So by the end of them, I'm full mouth of phlegm boy.
It's like it's spitting out COVID over your computer screen.
Yeah, you should see my computer. It's littered.
Dappling the microphone.
I need to get one of those water things.
You need a filter over that mic, mate.
That's it. Yeah. But Andy, is it Serkis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in this. Oh,
Gollum is in there.
Well, Gollum's not in it, but that would be weird. But yeah, he does the voice of someone, and he was in the trailer, so I was like, holy shit. The combat is kind of XCOM. I think I always describe these kind of combat as that. For me, I've said this a million times with Warhammer games, it's all about the out of combat, because the out of combat is always so shit that you play a few battles and you go, well, that's the whole game. I've done a bit of research, and it looks like they've got things like a world map, which looks quite small, to be honest with you. There's research, there's possible ship improvements, there's character customizations, you can change the weapons of your people. So part of me thinks this... I'm not holding my breath, but it could be good.
Yeah, I think it looks like you might enjoy this.
But Ben, look, if I'd never seen a Warhammer game before, and I saw this, I'd go, holy shit, I'm buying this day one. But I've played probably 20 to 30 Warhammer games and been disappointed by about 28 of them. So, I'll play it, and I'll probably be disappointed.
Specific amount.
Yeah, well, it's Warhammer 1 and 2, the exceptions are...
Yes, exactly. Well done. I'm not even including Warhammer 3 there.
Do we know what kind of price range this is going to be?
I don't know. It doesn't say on Steam.
I would suspect this is going to be around the £30 mark, given their recent releases.
I can see it is £35.
Yeah, and for me, I'm not going near that one.
That's a lot of money for a Warhammer game, and we know they're so, I say hit and miss, they're miss and miss. So
yeah, the 40k ones especially, apart from Armada, Battlefleet Gothic Armada.
Oh,
2,
you liked that one, didn't you?
Yeah, but it still doesn't hold you that long, but it's good for the time you're in it.
I thought like a month ago they released a Warhammer 40k game.
They release these a lot, and they're normally
didn't they release like
trash.
an action adventure game?
Probably,
recently.
But I mean, I know Dawn of War had a really good reception, but I never even really.
I played the Dawn of War ones. They were okay. Yeah, they were okay.
But even then, at that time, like I was still what are they called? Same maker as Warcraft, StarCraft. Dear God, that was annoying. I was still caught up in things like StarCraft. So
exactly, and when you compare StarCraft to any Warhammer 40k game, you go, well, there's no competition.
Yeah, precisely that.
Yeah, and we're Warhammer fans, so that says a lot about the future of Warhammer games, doesn't it?
40k at least, yeah.
Yeah, 40k at least. Next one, Crowns and Pawns, Kingdoms of Deceit. I was going to say Deficit. That would have been a weird name. Coming out PC, May 6th. Legends of the Past come back to life in this charming point-and-click adventure. Pack your bags and journey with Crowns and Pawns. Can you hear the phlegm build up?
Yeah,
yes.
Massively.
Yeah.
Good.
I can see it through the ears.
Thanks for pointing out as well. I appreciate that.
This is why we can't do live shows and we can't have our
We're
cameras
doing one
on.
in a few weeks, mate.
You'll see me spitting everywhere. Right, Kingdom of Deceit through modern day Europe to uncover the secrets of the king who was never crowned. This looks awful. It looks Ben will disagree. Too vibrant. It's silly visuals. The puzzles look so simple a pig could do it. Have you seen that? Like in those games where, like, yeah. Have you seen a game or a crow?
Quite an intelligent animal, isn't it?
Yeah. No. Pigs are, but they do like the little puzzles and they get their food. Crows have them as well, don't they? I generally reckon a pig or a crow could complete this game.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it must be said. It didn't look great to me either.
I thought it looked pretty bad. So.
Wow. Right.
Okay, consensus. Right.
Yeah,
Lovely.
that must be a bad game.
Next.
Ben says. Oh, Ben, I've heard it is coming out on a Switch, though.
Is it?
No, but I just wanted to see if you'd say it was amazing then.
I might check it out. No, it's not coming out on Switch, and also it still looks very bad.
Next one.
Snort then.
No.
It did sound like a snort.
That sounded like a snort, didn't it?
Oh, no, sorry.
Okay.
He's just recollecting the phlegm.
I'm really worried now. I'm going to listen back to that. No, it's going to sound like I'm firm. No, Brigandine? No.
No, you skipped one.
Where am I? I've scrolled down. Songs of Conquest. Oh, that sounds like Songs of Praise. Coming out on PC, May 10th. A turn-based strategy adventure game that fuses RPG, tactical combat, and kingdom management. Raise mighty armies, wield ancient magic, and conquer distant lands to build an empire that bards will sing about for centuries. This looks exactly like Heroes of Might and Magic. The only difference I can see is the visuals actually look worse, even though that game came out like 40 years ago. And building is like on the world map. You can build like buildings instead of in your town. It does have multiplayer, so that might appeal to some people. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it because Heroes of Might and Magic was a fantastic game. Was it 3, Pete, the best one?
Three's the best one.
Yeah, that was so good. So I'm not gonna hate on it, but any thoughts from you guys?
I'm gonna hate on it. I think it looks horrible, and I just don't think that you can. I don't think you should be releasing. Like, there's such competition in this space for these types of games, like tactical combat kind of RPG stuff. It's like. Just don't know. Can't get past those visuals.
This is the thing for me. The oversaturated visuals, like everything about it. I don't want to hate on it because it does look very similar to Heroes 3. And if it came out for a $5, that means I'd probably give it a go, but it won't come out for a $5. So I'll see you in the winter sale when it is about a $5.
Yeah.
And check it out then, and probably disappointed.
So not even that far away. Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Fair enough. Right, next one. Brigandine, The Legend of Rhunesia. Coming out on PC, May 11th. The continent of Rhunesia is home to 6 major powers with more than 40 bases, 100 knights, and 50 types of monsters. Select a ruler, organise knights and monsters into troops, and conquer enemy bases. This is a strategy game with turn-based tactics. Weirdly, I'm getting a lot of Romance of the Three Kingdoms vibes. I think it's probably heavily influenced by it because just a lot of the visuals, a lot of like the attribute masking and all that looks the same. You can choose knights, which is similar to Romance of the Three Kingdoms. The combat looks quite similar to it. Just swap ancient heroes for simple goblins and unicorns, and I would say you've got the same game. Also, your knights have their own troops, which you can build up, which is quite cool. So you kind of organise your own knights, and they have their own troops. It's the world map looks terrible. It looks really small, and I don't know how the travelling works from that. But apart from that, I think I'm going to absolutely love this game, and I've even added it to my wish list.
Wow.
Yeah, guys, do you want to rip into this?
Yeah, it's not for me.
I'll be interested to hear your review. Let's put it that way, given your previous record for balanced reviews.
I'm just gonna stay quiet on this one.
Come on, Kurt, I haven't heard anything. You always stay quiet in these new releases.
Yeah,
not
not
always.
Pete from Kirk.
You're always quiet in these. Come on, talk to me. What do you think?
Okay, all right. For me, this looks exactly like Songs of Conquest. I'm comparing the two, and they look the fucking same in my eyes. That's how I view it.
Wow, have you taken your glasses off?
No, they're firmly on my face.
Kirk,
comes in at a different level.
Conquest is like here's like the combat. You know, this is why you don't talk.
Yeah, let's go back to the established.
Yeah, I apologise for making you
talk, the fucking madness. Shall we move on?
I'm
someone mute Kirk.
Can you do that?
No, you can't. So fuck you.
Oh, Ben, you could just delete his audio file afterwards, couldn't you? Anyway, Source of Madness coming out on PlayStations, Xboxes, and Switch. So Ben will like this one. May 11th. Source of Madness is a side-scrolling dark action roguelite set in a twisted Lovecraftian-inspired world powered by procedural-generated and AI machine learning. Take on the role of a new acolyte as they embark on a nightmarish odyssey. Visuals look cool. Looks like it has the character has some main interesting powers. It's not my kind of game. It's a Pete and Ben game. So, what do you two think?
I really like the look of it, yeah.
I do as well. This is on my wish list. It's been out on PC for a little while.
Oh.
I think it was last year sometime.
Oh, yeah, September 2021. Yep.
Yeah, and so I'm sort of watching it with interest, but I haven't yet.
I'd be interested to know what the price is looking like on this one, on Switch.
Well, Ben, it's £10.50 at the moment on Steam. Well, down from £14. So Switch will be about £45, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
105 maybe.
Doesn't usually bother you, Ben.
Yeah, I'm trying to cut back on the old expenses.
Stop using the Switch, Ben. That's the key.
Yeah, but so many. I mean, even last week's new releases, there were some goodies there. But yeah, this looks really good. I do play quite a few roguelikes, but I don't like them. Like as a actual genre, I don't really like a roguelike.
Ben, I don't like twin stick shooters, and yet the last two twin stick shooters, Weird West and The Ascent,
you have
are fucking brilliant.
Absolutely, and I like Hades, and I like Hades, and I like Returnal.
Hades, yeah.
The genre is not something that I actively seek, but so many good games do come out in these fucking roguelikes. Yeah, okay, give it a whirl, and it definitely is one. If this was a tenner on the Switch, I'd probably look into it.
Yeah, and I imagine it never will be, but good luck. So, of those, Eddie, which one are you most looking forward to?
You know what? It was actually close with Brigandine, The Legend of Rhunesia, but that could be an absolute fuck up of a game. So it's got to be the safe pick, the one we're all looking forward to. Trek to Yomi.
Prick.
Which is on Game Pass and it's free. So
it is on Game Pass. Yeah.
Trek to Yomi is on Game Pass day one. So
yes, Yomi is there.
Yeah, tomorrow if you're listening today.
What?
Very good. I like that.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
What?
Fucking
It's tomorrow.
So if they're listening to this episode next year, then it's still coming out tomorrow.
You know when the episode came out if you're listening to it a year later.
But it's today if you're listening to it late.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, right.
Can
we move swiftly on to what we've been playing? Jeez. And I want to use Ben's little mention of roguelikes there to say that I've been playing a roguelike this week.
What have you been playing?
Very good.
I have been playing Trigon Space Story, which we discussed.
In our new releases.
It was, yeah. We discussed it last week, didn't
we? Yeah.
And I mean, first and foremost, we should say thank you very much for the code. It's fantastic to have. And I'm really, really glad actually that I played it because I've pretty much lost all of today to this game.
Huh.
I started out going, it's a bit strange but quite interesting, and also is there it does feel a little bit point and click though at the beginning, and then as a couple of hours rolled by, you went, yeah, but you're still coming back to it. You're still wanting to get better at this. You're still finding new ways to improve your ship, new ways to improve.
So what is the game, Pete?
So yes, I suppose that's probably where I should start, isn't it? So this is it's a sci-fi roguelike, Ben, for interest.
Lovely.
But yeah, I mean, it combines a bit of sim management in there as well because you are running your ship. And I'm not going to lie, the first thing that struck me is that the captain you are assigned looks exactly like Mal from Firefly, brown jacket and all.
Yeah.
Sold.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I think his name was even Matt with one T, so I obviously just altered that.
Sold.
Lazy.
I obviously just altered that to Mal and was just like, we may as well go whole hog, guys, if we're going to go that close. And then you start out, you want to build a crew and you're trying to build this ship up, and you can get to other ships, but I haven't quite made it that far yet. And I should also point out, there are 4 different storylines. So the first one is humans, and then they've got ones for different alien races in there as well. Which I assume the main difference is the ship and the equipment types, but nice to see that that's there already. But it's got to be said, it really did draw me in. I think the combination of managing the ship, managing the crew, and the roguelike factor of if you're dead, it's all over, and you start up again, has been quite interesting because you start to see the whole ship and everything in it as you'll build. If you remember
does it feel high risk, high reward kind of stuff?
At the beginning, massively so. But it must be said, this game lures you into getting murdered very early on. Right. Because it gives you markers for the main story quests. And those very quickly send you into a second area. And you just get annihilated by the third point it sends you to if you go there. The first couple, you'll be fine. And then you'll go to the third one and you have absolutely no hope in hell. No one would. You're outgunned in every specific way. So it took me a good 2 or 3 runs to figure that out and go, you might need to grind a bit here. You might need to build up a bit before you push on. But I think that's part of the process as well. I don't play that many roguelikes either, as you know. And so coming back to it, it took a little while to get back into thinking about it in that way. But the moment you do, it's been really, really good. The tutorial is decent and only takes about 15 minutes, which is, as I'm sure you can imagine after I joke about tutorials earlier, is a really handy thing to have. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't overburden you with stuff. There's a lot more you find out just by playing. And I suppose my favourite bit so far is the species of robots are just a little bit evil. So your crewmates you start out with a couple of humans with you, but you can add in robots, aliens, all sorts. And there are events that pop up in a similar way to games like Stellaris and Warhammer Total War, which you can make decisions on. And half the time, if you send a robot to help people, like I had one where they had to go and fix a ship that was complaining of being decimated and falling apart. And so he goes over there and fixes the ship, and obviously it turns out to be a trap and they try and ambush you straight afterwards. And it turns out that didn't matter because the robot rigged a bunch of booby traps for them without you asking him to.
Lovely.
Oh, good.
I like that. And there's lots of little side things from the robots like that you just go, this works. This is the kind of robot I like. This is HAL, or the evil robots from all sci-fi that have ever been there. Big fan of that. So it's little touches like that have made it very much enjoyable so far. I'm probably 3 and a bit hours in.
Yeah.
And I've not been playing it with any sort of I must go faster after the beginning. because I realised just how quickly you get outgunned if you don't look around for better weapons and more weapons. But I think it will definitely keep me playing it until at least the release of Trek to Yomi, if not much longer.
Yeah, so you'd recommend this game?
Definitely, yeah. I'd actually very strongly for anyone who's interested in these. Anyone who played FTL back in the day, back in 2011 or whenever that came out, you'll like this.
So that's Trigon Space Story.
Yes, indeed.
What a name. Good. Well, the review code system works. You recommended the game.
Massively so. Yeah.
Right, shall I go over one of mine? I've played 2 new games this week. I also played one on the new release list from last week called Ravenous Devils.
Oh, if you remember, you said about that.
Yeah, I really, really liked the look of it. And when it came out on Switch, it was about £4.50. So I was like, okay, well, for $4.50, I'll have a go. If you remember, it's basically that Sweeney Todd looking game. So
this isn't one of the cooking people ones.
That's literally yes, it is. It's the one you talked about last week. Yeah. And you even said Sweeney Todd when you spoke about it last week as well. You're consistent.
It's a management sim, day by day kind of game where you're trying to earn money, and you control 3 floors of a building. Top floor being like a tailor and shop, and when people come in, they can buy stuff, but you can also kill them, take their clothes, tailor more clothes, and send the bodies down to the basement, which is the kitchen, where you then that provides the meat to the kitchen, where you make meat pies and stuff, and then you sell those foods on the middle floor.
Lovely.
So it's just this it's just this constant like sim management thing. First thing. This game on the Switch looks like fucking hot garbage.
Oh, really?
It looks terrible.
I would have assumed it's on the Switch, but
no, but it's not a high demanding game. Like I expected it to at least have clarity. Like it's so blurry. It's crazy. You really have to adjust to it. I talked about the Vaseline effect that Switch games have. Yeah. This is like it's not even like it's been smeared with Vaseline. Somebody's put on a coating of Vaseline and then just chunked a load on top. It's just like it's pretty horrible to look at. Can't emphasize that enough. But I don't know what it looks like elsewhere. I imagine on PC, and the screenshots that we saw and the trailer and stuff look fucking brilliant when they do it in 4K.
Yeah.
But I don't imagine I'd ever be booting this up on my actual PC unless I was doing it on the Steam Deck or my One X player or something like that. Like, this is a handheld game because it's that simple, It's a simple game. It's also very buggy. Oh, there's a bug. I was grinding someone up for the meat, and then we're just in the middle of the room, just like grinding in an imaginary grinder in the middle of the room rather in the right position. My character just refused to go downstairs 2 occasions. I had to load back into the game. So it's not the smoothest of rides. However, there is actually a nice little game there for £5. It's got story. It's simple, and it's an interesting concept enough because you can upgrade stuff in the building. It's an interesting concept enough that make it about that £4.50 level where you're like, okay, that's all right. I could chuck a few hours into this, and I can come back to it in a few months' time. Chuck a few hours into it. It's one of those indie games where you go, oh yeah, I had that game. Let's just load it up again. But essentially, you play out each day. You earn money. That allows you to then upgrade stuff in your building, like get an extra oven or preparation stations, do different things, and you could progress the story. And the story largely revolves around there's an outsider who's sending you letters that they know what you're up to. So and then you have to take out targets and stuff like that when they come in. So it's a pretty decent palate cleanser, I think. So nice. It reminds me very much of Far Lone Sales, the management part when you're doing that stuff. But basically, I was playing this and it just encouraged me to go back and play New Star Manager on Switch.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You played a lot of that, Eddie, haven't you?
What? New Star Manager?
Yeah, I'm sure you.
Which one's
New
that?
Star Manager before.
That's
it's like
one of the
football management game, but with cards.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar.
Turns out I've played 82 hours of it.
Holy cow!
You spend a lot of time playing games, don't you?
Yeah. So 82 hours playing and I loaded it up. I started playing it this week, and to be honest, the game that I played most this week is New Star Manager. And my girlfriend was like, what are you playing there? You could talk about that on the pod. No.
No.
Why are you playing that? Because I want to. She's like, well, she called it something like said something very derogatory about it. Why are you playing that crap game?
I've just looked at iPhone, and I've played a lot of this as well. I actually played, I don't know who the developers are, but there's a game that kind of came before it on the phone, where you actually you drag, and that's where you're kicking the football, and that is fucking brilliant. I can't see because obviously it's an iOS game, but I've probably played a couple hundred hours of that one.
Yeah, it's probably another conversation.
Well.
It's another conversation for another time. But I fucking love New Star Manager. I think it's brilliant. If you're looking for a football management game on the Switch, that's fucking good.
It's on phone as well,
Ravenous
man.
Devils.
I've got it on phone as well, so you can get it on your mobile.
Yeah, lovely. And the other one I've been playing, very brief, is Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodhound on PS5. So it's a really interesting free-to-play game that's on PlayStation. I think it's PlayStation 4 and 5. I've only played a couple of hours, but I have definitely enjoyed it. It's a Battle Royale game. Somehow manages to feel a little bit different from the very crowded genre that is Battle Royale games. Even though it definitely is almost identical to all the other ones. But it still feels it. But you're a vampire. And in this game, that boils down to just being able to move faster, climb up walls, use a few powers or whatever. But there's different classes and stuff like that. It's good. I'm fucking terrible at Battle Royale games. I mean, you guys know that. But I'm finding it quite interesting. There's a battle pass and it feels good. We're earning XP and stuff like that. And I put this in the category of free-to-play games. Like, do you remember that game I played, Century Age of Ashes?
Yeah, you did a review for it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a video on our YouTube channel of it.
Plug.
It's like those. Yeah, plug. These two games are very, very high level free to play games, like really good quality free to play games. So I definitely put it in that category. And if anybody hasn't heard of Century Age of Ashes, really, really good free to play game, available I think on PC and Xbox, and I think it's coming to PlayStation. I don't know if it's out at the moment. But we are getting into a period where it's going to be a gaming lull of big games coming out, I think. So
yeah, it's that problem, doesn't it?
So I welcome games like this because, as I said, it's a top tier free to play game.
Fantastic.
Fair.
Yeah. So 3 games this week, then. Nice work. That's good stuff.
That's good stuff. I didn't play anything last week, so
that's true. You have to make up for it.
I obviously also played about 10 hours of Elden Ring, so don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, of course. We all are still playing a bit of Elden Ring.
Yeah, we're all playing second and third playthroughs of Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Who's next?
Right. You can go, Eddie.
Alright, it's got a good one, has he? Oh,
no, I just like putting all the pressure on him when he's got no notes.
Yeah, that's got disappointed with that. I've been playing Solargene, which is it came out in January this year, but it's still in early access. I love an early access game, as we know. The developer's Alexander Semenov, and I challenge you to look up who this person or company is, because I have fucking difficult to find out information about them. But it's a colony management game, so you kind of build and manage colonies, you manage your staff, you get tourists coming in, you gather resources, you build up. It's that kind of game, you explore new technologies, trade, do little tasks and whatnot. I've only put in about 5 hours this week so far, but I'm really quite enjoying it. The difficult thing with all these, and I've said this a million times, is with all colony management games like this, you compare it to RimWorld, which is kind of a curse of ever liking RimWorld. But if you think that it is a completely different game, because this is like an isometric view, well, you can actually change the view all over, and it's more realistic than RimWorld, it actually looks like people for a start, then it's good fun.
Wow, they have hands and legs and everything, don't they?
Yeah, hands and legs. They actually look like people. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It looks weird, actually. I wish it was the old RimWorld ways. But the visuals are good. It looks fuzzy, which is really weird. But if there wasn't any fuzziness, it would look good. Like, you can zoom in really close and you can see what your people are getting up to and whatnot. It kind of feels rewarding, especially when they just start their new job and you think, oh, that's actually going to get me some things to trade, which is going to get me money. So all these little decisions you make feel quite rewarding. I'm only 5 hours in, so my place looks like a piece of crap. They have to walk through like 3 bedrooms to get to their dinner hall. But I've seen some buildings online. Holy crap, it looks so impressive. You can build like full-on massive space stations in space and stuff, or like these huge fucking cities on like Jupiter or whatever. So that looks really cool. It's not challenging for me at the moment, but I do know that there's like a challenge mode where they like chuck loads of shit at you, like extreme weathers and I don't know, all sorts of things that come at you. So I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a colony management game, which I always enjoy. So far, I would recommend it, but I'm going to carry on playing it. I'm going to play it on the challenging mode, and I'm going to see how it goes. But yeah, for any of you colony management people, this one looks like a good one.
Cool. It's good stuff.
Fair play.
Guess that moves on to me, doesn't it?
Cool.
You're the only one left, Kirk. It has to be.
And thank you, Pete. And just to your point about no notes in the doc, I've put them in, so screw you, buddy.
Yeah, I know how Kirk now puts his notes in another doc so that we can't mess with them. Oh, Pete's just deleted them. Great. Yeah.
Why'd you do that, Kirk?
I don't know.
Is it because we took the piss out of you once? That's why, isn't it?
It was the time that you said you make too many notes. Okay, cool. Lovely.
Kirk, you should have realised you just can't win. We're going to find something.
I can never win. I can't win at life, games, you guys. What? I just fucking train track out there.
Don't put yourself down, Kirk. You're doing all right at life.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Wait, was that it? Was that? I don't know. Right. So
you're on a good podcast. There you go. That's a win.
That's a win. That's a win.
I've been playing Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, which, can I just say, is a fucking fantastic name for a video game.
I've heard this is good.
Yeah, so I played... this came out in April 2021. It's developed by Snoozy Kazoo. Not heard of them before. I'm assuming they're like a little developer. Great name, though. And this came out on Game Pass on the 19th of April. So... I haven't actually seen anything of this game. I've just heard the buzz online and stuff, and I thought, do you know what? Play a new game for the pod. This has just come out on Game Pass. Let's have a go. It reminds me a lot of how Game Boy Advance games looked in its style. And basically, the premise of the game is you play as Turnip Boy. Funny enough, you haven't paid your bills for your greenhouse, and because of this, you are now Mayor Onion's personal errand, basically. You do errands for him. That's what I'm trying to say. You must get rid of an animal which is in his way of building a town hall, which is currently in construction. And he says you basically need to come back with fertilizer as proof that you've completed the task. This is literally how the game begins. You have a tax bill that you rip up, and then Mr. Mayor Onion's there telling you need to go and do this. I'm like, right, fine. So the game itself, honestly, such a simple game in the way that it handles. You've got your left trigger, go up, down, left, right. You've got a couple of buttons, X, A, and B, to swap between items, do a little die. Well, what's it called? It's called, what's it called? Yeah, don't worry. You kind of like fall over, basically. Like
check your notes, Kirk.
Yeah. I mean, that would be good, wouldn't it, if I written down properly. So... It's like, honestly, the whole game is built upon being simple. As you go through, you basically rip up these documents that would otherwise be important, such as your tax bill, as I said, checks that you find. I don't know why you'd rip up a check. It's something to give you money, and a wanted poster of you because you haven't paid your tax bill, which I can understand why you'd rip that up. So. You're kind of like exploring around. There's this little, there are these little bushes in the way of certain paths that you can't get to, and you're told by these little strawberries and tomatoes that are dotted around, that are bouncing around very, very happily, that you need to find a sword. Oh, this would look, you'd be able to get through this with a sword, but you need to go to this place to go and get it. Okay, cool. I find a watering can. I then explore the open areas I can, and I find this area where I water something, and then this sword comes out. So I'm like, okay, cool, I found the sword. Go through to the other area, smash up the bushes, continue on, and you come across the town hall, which is currently in construction, which you can't get an entry to because there is a character there called Slay Queen 32, and she references that as her gamer tag. This is in game. It says her gamer tag, and she won't let you past until you give her tier 3 subs. And I thought, tier 3 subs? This sounds like a Twitch streamer or something. Like, you're not, you know. And it turns out that she actually meant a sub roll sandwich. That's what you had to do. So I backtracked a bit, and there's this like sandwich shop that says, "Oh, you know Slay Queen? Cool. Take this to her, and you can get into the place that you can't get into." Okay, brilliant. Right, did that. You basically go through this section. There's this very simple puzzle that you water this thing that turns into a bomb and allows you to open up new areas, new doors in this town hall that's being built, and you come across this big pig. Very, very big pig. Phrasing was very bad there. I'm very sorry. There is a boss, and you have to defeat him. You defeat him with these bombs, and then you find the fertilizer, and you're like, right, so I've got what I need to take back to the mayor. And this is basically where I was like, I don't like this game because it just doesn't sit well with me the way that it works. It's really not for me. I can't even decide. Well, I decided I don't want to even give it a time of day anymore, just because.
Is it charming? It's charming and humorous, though. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I thought you were going to go down the good route. Really.
No. And the reason I'm saying no is because I almost turned it off immediately, because when I started playing it, the sound, the music in the background is fucking horrendous and so annoying. Like, it really, like, they've really harkened back to that GBA style of music, and it really grates on you. Thankfully, when you get to the slightly different biome that's next to the main area that you start off in, it changes, which I was like, thank fuck for that. But you still have to navigate in this main area. The game, honestly, it's so basic. I don't really know who it's aimed for. I mean, I'm guessing just people that want a really easy time, I guess.
I have heard that. I have heard a lot of good comments on this game, though.
Yeah, and this is why I played it. This is why I gave it a go. I mean, I did get a little bit of a snigger out when there's this bro dude basically who's like a blueberry. And he tells you that this snail has moved in, and snails are enemies in this game. And there's a snail that's moved into his patch, and he didn't know what to think of it at first, and then he decides, well, I'll just let it go because he's we're kind of cool now. Turns out he's not paying rent, so when I got my sword, I sliced him up. I say sliced him up, killed him, and then he drops a bunch of money.
He didn't pay rent, even though you are causing tax evasion.
Yeah. Double standards, right? And he goes, "Oh, why did you kill him?" He's like, his name's Jerry, and he's like, "Why did you kill him?" And you just like, your character just goes ... like, didn't say anything, and he goes, "Well, kind of guess doesn't really matter. I've got my rent now, so here's a bit for you." And it's like, okay. Then an achievement pops saying murderer, and it's like, you killed Jerry the snail. Like, okay, so you were meant to do that, I guess. Honestly, the game, if I don't know what you'd be looking for with it, in all honesty. There's no challenge there. Ben, you said about it possibly being funny and charming. Sure, maybe, but I'm one to give things like that a go, and I don't want to give this one a go. And also, I did load it up again. I quit out as I went and had dinner, and then came back just to give it a bit more of a go. Turns out it doesn't have quick resume. That really pisses me off.
No.
That's a real first world problem for you, isn't it?
Yeah, Jesus.
It doesn't have quick regime. Fucking hell.
The game.
You're playing a game about a turnip boy who's avoiding taxes.
Yeah.
Evading.
8-bit?
Tax avoidance.
Is it 8-bit style?
Maybe 16.
Maybe 16.
Oh, yeah. So maybe 16-bit.
Maybe 16.
And you're wondering if and you were surprised it didn't have quick resume.
I mean, it's a game that came out last year, Pete, but sure. It's a quality of life feature that should be implemented in everything. Anyway, it's an aside.
You don't like it.
I don't like it. And I'm being honest. I'm not going to like everything I play, and I don't like this. It's pretty shit, in my opinion. So,
what was the last game that you did really like?
Tunic. A game about an animal running around with a sword, which sounds exactly like the review of this game, but never mind.
It's definitely not. No, it is not the same.
And he called it his game of the year. Remember, chaps?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you remembered that, because I forgot.
Of course, Kurt.
But,
I wouldn't forget that fucking comment.
yeah, what's going to be Game of the Year for me? Anyway, I mean, great name for the game. Shit music, shit mechanics. Not a fan. Play it if you want to. I wouldn't advise it.
It's rare that
that's a great review.
It's rare that a game doesn't hit it with the music, but I've got to admit, like I actually turn on Golf 2K21 or whatever it's called. I actually turn the music off because I can't stand it.
Fair enough.
Like, literally go to audio and turn the music off.
I did that recently with a game that had like heavy metal background music.
Oh wow!
And I just turned it off. So I can't.
Yeah, I thought it was such an easy thing to do, but then now and again you load into a game and you're like, this is so off-putting to the game. Shut up.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's me. That's me.
Okay. I mean, very positive reviews on Steam, by the way, both recently and all time. So,
Pete, I've only heard good things.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm going to defend it. I'm going to defend Kirk here. Is when people load up and play this kind of game, they're expecting. I mean, if I didn't know what this was and I load in, I'd say this is the worst game of all time. But people look at it, they look how shit it is, so their expectations are already drop dead. So that's probably why they're overwhelmingly positive.
Maybe.
Anyway. I tell you what, I bet you Adam would love that game, though.
Adam would fucking love this.
He would.
Adam would love that game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what is that? 5, 6 new games this week, guys?
That's probably our largest number of new games.
Cleaned house on that one, didn't we?
Yeah, madness. My God. But we are now on to the feature, which I realised I didn't set up at all at the beginning of the episode because I was having so much fun.
I didn't think you did, actually. I don't think you
No,
mentioned it.
I glossed way past it, guys, because I was having far too much fun with you two feeling fragile. So, yeah, we just sort of avoided that. But what we are looking at is 2022 so far. That's the title, because Q1 review seemed a bit of a harsh way to put it.
It's no Turnip boy commits tax evasion. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly not, yeah. But no, the point was to have a look back on this year so far in terms of games and releases and how we think it's shaping up and whether we're happy with it, I suppose. Go on, Ben. Yeah. You do this better than me, this bit.
Well, I think it's just that it's set up from last year. I don't think it was a reasonable year for gaming, but for actual top tier, top level games, I mean, it takes one game of the year, and I would never expect that to win on another year where you have some big
insanely weak year.
In recent years, we've had all of those PlayStation exclusive Last of Us, Spider-Man, God of War, all these absolute bangers come out. Mm-hmm. Last year just didn't really have them. So I think off the back of that, we were expecting quite a lot for this year, weren't we? And the first 4 months of this year have delivered a lot of fucking new games, haven't they? A lot of big new games. I mean, we've put a little list down here, like the ones that have been multi-plat, Dying Light 2, Elden Ring, and Rainbow Six Extraction. Like, those three, if you were just told that those three were coming out, that in itself would sound pretty good. Yeah. But and PlayStation had Sifu. They've had Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7. I'm probably missing ones, but those ones. Nintendo have even had Kirby. They've just had Switch Sports. They had Pokemon Arceus, which I fucking loved. PC, we've had Warhammer 3, which came to Game Pass. Like, there've been some big fucking games. But what do you guys think? If all of those big games are coming out, would you think that that's lived up to the hype that they had before they came out? Because we were expecting big things in the first 4 months.
Yeah, we were, weren't we? And it's interesting because obviously I pick out a few games that I'm going by, and I made no sort of joke about it earlier this year, saying it was Elden Ring, Warhammer 3, and Starfield for me this year. Now, I should really have adjusted that by saying there's also Kerbals 2 coming out, which I am looking forward to as well at some stage. But really, so I've already had 2 of those 3, and at least in the case of Elden Ring, was in no way disappointed. But Warhammer 3, I mean, we talked about it on YouTube, didn't we? That I think it's not there yet. And I also have been holding off on the outside going, I might get a PlayStation one day if something makes me want to.
Yeah.
And I was kind of expecting Horizon Forbidden West to do that, and it hasn't.
No, and this is big thing. Like, if obviously somebody said pre-year, we go, Elden Ring's coming out. We've got Horizon. I remember looking at those first few months and going, wow, it is so fucking stacked. That February is
insane. Yeah.
God, it had Dying Light 2, we had Sifu, we had Horizon, we had Elden Ring. It's like, Jesus Christ. Let me just give a summary of those. Like, Dying Light 2, Sifu, actually good, but I knew an easy mode was coming, so I gave up. I had a hard pass on that after about 5 hours of knocking my head against the wall. Yeah. Horizon Forbidden West,
climbing.
Gran Turismo 7, reasonable until the microtransaction stuff, and I actually quite enjoy that game. Mm-hmm. But Elden Ring is the like, if Elden Ring hadn't happened, I'd be like, Jesus, there was such an expectation, and everything's missing. The only one that has really hit for me, the only two are Elden Ring and Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're the only real two. And it's I don't know, like from all the big you're often disappointed with these big games. Horizon Forbidden West was a massive disappointment to me.
Well, this is I get that. We all understood the climbing comments, Ben. We were all there. Yeah. Before we go back into it, but I think this is the thing. There is an acceptance that not everything is for you that we have to bring in, and that obviously our little bubble has some things that are going to overlap and some that don't. But we're not going to cover 100%. So things like Dying Light 2, you were the only one who was going to try that, Ben. And
yes,
I wasn't actually expecting you to be like overawed with it, especially when you only had 2 weeks before Elden Ring came out.
That was an issue, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I suppose that them all being so condensed maybe didn't do them any favours either, because you could so easily forget about everything the moment Elden Ring dropped, and most of the gaming community seemed to. Is that going too far? But it's all the content that comes up for me.
I think that's fair. I do think Elden Ring has just taken over everywhere, streamers and everything. It's just everyone just plays Elden Ring because there's so many different ways to play it, so many different things to do in it. You're watching one person, you watch another, they're doing completely different things. Yeah. So that's the beauty of it. Carry on, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, we should obviously make sure we get Eddie and Kirk in here as well, because you all have had different impressions because you two weren't obsessed with Elden Ring.
No. I'm glad you said about something for everything. I think this has been an amazing first 4 months. I do agree that a lot of the games have fallen short. But what I love about this year, and you guys know, I cannot remember. Well, actually, when was that year that was amazing? Do you remember it had like Witcher 3? And it had so many.
Like 2016, though, isn't it?
I was going to say 2014 or something.
It was a long time ago, and every year since then, I've fucking ranted every time I get drunk about how shit the gaming industry is now. But I've been so impressed by these first few months. Not only have you got some absolute fucking bangers there. I mean, literally, Ben, you're saying that your best game of all time came out in February, Elden Ring.
Yes.
So you've got all these, but then there's so many games for so many people. I went through all the games and I literally highlighted all the games that I know people have said is an amazing game. Lego Star Wars, Expeditions Rome, Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. I know a lot of the East will love that. I know I'll love to play it. Tunic, some twat once said it was Game of the Year. Ghostwire Tokyo, Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Ghostwire, like I forgot, I missed that out of saying what was on the PlayStation there. Yeah. I really liked Ghostwire. Yeah. I thought it was really good. I know it didn't do amazingly in reviews or anything. Yeah. But I thought it was an excellent game.
But that's what I mean. There's so many, like Tiny Tina's Wonderland, that was a favourite of our American friends over there, weren't there? There was Weird West, I thought was fucking brilliant. So many little good games, as well as the bangers, and we had Cat Cafe Manager as well. So,
absolutely.
Sorry. I just think it's a really good year so far because we've had some huge games which we have had shit big games. Like last year, It Takes Two won Game of the Year. That says how shit the huge games were. And on top of that, we've got games for all the fanboys that love their, like Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Wouldn't touch that with a barge pole, but for the fans, they love it. And you've got some good, good low budget games like Rome Expeditions. So I'm loving it. Kirk, sorry. You go.
That's right. So obviously from the Xbox perspective, because I'm an Xbox fanboy over here, as we all know, this year has been pretty shit and dire. Now, looking across to PlayStation and Switch and PC, like, in all fairness, as a collective, if you had every console, you've had something to play, and you've had some fucking great games like throughout. Over here on the Xbox side, I mean, you need to temper your expectations, I guess, because we had 2 massive games out at the end of last year, which was Forza Horizon 5 and then Halo Infinite. But the thing that we have had with Xbox is the Game Pass side of things, and absolutely, I think this is where it kind of Xbox has managed to come into its own a little bit, just to kind of fill in that void before what we are like currently anticipating to come later this year and beyond. So we've had Mass Effect Legendary Edition added to Game Pass. We had Death's Door. We had Total Warhammer 3 on there. Guardians of the Galaxy, that's a huge game, and it's been added to Game Pass. Tunic is exclusive to Xbox as well. And then we've got these couple of Ubisoft games coming with Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oranges. It's a really weird Assassin's Creed, but
you get peeled by the orange. Is that the way
you do. Yeah. Fucking what is it? Enzo just fucking goes off peeling oranges. So basically, what I'm saying is obviously the Xbox side of this kind of argument is, yes, there haven't been any big hitters. They came last year, and there now has been, we're in May now. It's been 5 months, and there hasn't been much to talk about. But there has been. You had the acquisition of Activision, and that's obviously made huge headlines, and that's huge news, assuming it all goes through. And these additions to Game Pass helped tick it along until we get to that point where things hopefully should start hitting like month after month, where we get a banger after banger or something big that we can actually talk about. And at the end of the day, I mean, again, looking back at over the PlayStation side of things, for example, I love what they did with Horizon and Gran Turismo. I think, like, if I had a PS5, I'd be fucking all over those things. But at least they had some good games out, and you can invest as much or as little time as you want in those, but at least you've had some really good content there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I thought you were going down the route of Xbox has been shit, but when I got an Xbox One, I remember I was secretly very upset for the first 3 months because no games came out on it, and I was like, I just spent a lot of money on this, and there's been nothing. But with this, because of Game Pass, all is forgiven. Because there are so many games on Xbox that are fucking good, and then they just keep on releasing amazing games onto it. Like, games that, if I, like, between, I don't know, like, Outer Worlds, the Halos, the Forzas, and fucking countless other games, it's probably saved me a few £100. And of course, you've got all those games that you could literally jump on. I mean, Trek to Yomi this week. Trek to Yomi, as we all know it by.
Just because we are dangerously close to retreading old ground of Game Pass is amazing, blah, blah, blah. Should we keep it just the 2022 releases, though?
Yeah, no, I agree. But this is the thing. Like, it's horses for courses at the end of the day with this. I think overall 2022 has been pretty fantastic across the board. It's just you have to take the fanboyism out of it and just appreciate how all systems are doing things where you've got your Pokemon Arceuses, you've got your Forbidden Wests, and you've got your Game Pass games. Everybody's getting something basically at the moment, and it's just how long before we start going up. And it's going to be like post E3 season, really, in my book. So
I'm wondering. Xbox. I think this year obviously is going to, because God of War Ragnarok's going to come out later this year.
Wagnarok.
We don't know. Wagnarok. It probably will come out later this year. And we have Starfield, obviously. Yes. I'm really hoping that Xbox, in that presentation, say about a couple of games coming this year, because I do think they need something big other than just Starfield. You know, just to
Forza Motorsport will be a big one, assuming that it comes this year.
That would be really good. That would be really good. I just think. I'm now getting to that stage where we've had this 4 months worth of like release after release after release, I'm just now thinking we're in a bit of a lull, and I'm wondering what's coming next, because I'm personally not that excited for God of War.
Hold on.
I'll get it and play it, but I don't know where we're going with this.
Just before we move on to this, because you're saying what are we looking forward to, aren't you? But what I like is I can tell the state you're in when you updated the document earlier, because you put, what have we got to look forward to now? You were not feeling good earlier today, were you, Ben?
that's it, very coming just from my head in general.
Yeah, that's the Hello Darkness, my old friend, going on in the background, just staring out the window in a lull between naps.
Exactly. But that is true with the game side, like the Starfield and God of War. But I don't actually know what else is rumoured to be coming. That's
Kerbals 2, Ben.
But I'm really looking forward to Assassin's Creed Oranges. I can't wait to see that twist.
Honestly, how they pull that off.
I'm saying this though, like
twist, Eddie. Well done. Very well done.
I'm saying there's only Starfield and God of War. But last year we had none of this. We had fucking Deathloop.
Absolutely.
So this year, like,
we're getting Deathloop again this year, though, aren't we, for Xbox?
I suppose
it'll be late this year, won't it? So,
yeah, I mean, don't get too excited, Kirk.
No, I won't.
I'll tell you that.
I won't.
I think it'll all come apparent when we see the nominations for Game of the Year this year, and we literally line it up against last year.
And you go Elden Ring, God of War, Starfield, and when games like Horizon Forbidden West will not even get a shot, they will not even get looked at for Game of the Year.
Absolutely.
You just be like, what the fuck is that? Like, get out of my sight. So when that's happening, you know it's a big year.
Yeah, and when Cat Cafe Manager wins it all, then...
When Cat Cafe Manager just comes fucking over the top of everyone,
Godlike Burgers. Godlike Burgers.
Roaring with a roaring meow.
Oh, yeah, of course, that one as well.
I suppose that is going to be the decisive point, isn't it? I think at this stage we can say it was 2015, by the way, the year we were thinking of. I looked it up in the background.
Yeah, 2015.
Because that was like Bloodborne, Undertale came out then, Grand Theft Auto 5, which comes out all the time anyway.
I was going to say, it came out this year, Pete.
That comes out every year anyway. The first Ori game came out then, obviously Witcher. So Fallout 4.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, there was quite a bit in 2015. Shit. I don't think we're quite at that level yet. Although in terms of expectation, it wasn't far away. Just in February, to be honest. So I really do think it is going to be December when it's decisive, and I do think that Starfield is going to have a significant impact on that.
Absolutely. If that's an amazing
God
game,
of War,
this could be huge. Yeah.
As will God of War, but I think for the year as a whole, there has to be something for all consoles as well. And Xbox are pretty much pinning everything on that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Game Pass and blah, 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 Kirk's bit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I think there's plenty to look forward to, but it's mostly very late in the year, I guess.
Yeah, I think so too. So let's hunker down and place a backlog for the next 6 weeks.
I mean, let's be honest. Everybody's got a fucking backlog, haven't they?
Exactly. And for the next month, that's what we do, and then we all jump aboard the hype train from the moment that Xbox Showcase happens, just to make sure we're all disappointed in December.
And then we'll be on Kerbal Countdown as well. So,
yeah. But if anyone had any more positive thoughts on it or more negative thoughts on the year so far, how would they tell us them, Ben?
You can email us at podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. You can tweet us at grumpygamerspod. Our YouTube channel is Grumpy Gamers Podcast. And as I said, we will be on Twitch this week, 7 o'clock on Thursday, playing Sifu, and that's Grumpy Gamers Podcast on Twitch.
Fantastic.
I'm impressed.
So am I. I thought I was going to have to prompt him on it, to be honest.
Kirk will put something out on social media about that as well. So we'll be.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, he'll do something like that, I'm sure. He'll be in the chat as well. Kirk will be in the chat, fucking buzzing away.
He'll be loving it. He'll be setting things up. Maybe doing some games.
I've got friends.
He'll be the social butterfly there.
I've got friends. I've got friends online, mate. So it's good.
Twitch friends.
Fantastic. Bring them to watch Ben playing Sifu and struggling even with the easy mode.
Oh god, it's not going to be that easy, is it?
So will.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't expect anything from me.
No.
Well, all I can say is I'm looking forward to hearing more about it, both at the time and on the show next week.
Guys, I can't fucking parry.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, he definitely can't. For this week, it is GG.
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 GG.